Alright, welcome to our first video, trainers. We're going to be doing the Road to Master Ball doubles, starting in like the April season series 3. Yep, we have an Alchemy and a Clefairy, and then I have Incineroar and Togekiss. Obviously, we're going to go for the Intimidate, even though it didn't work for anything. He goes for the Protect, but I go for a Cleave, and let's see what I do with Incineroar. Oh, you know what? I do a Parting Shot out, because I wanted to negate that Calm Mind. I don't know how I predicted that, but I am taking that. So then I swap out to Excadrill and then push the offense with that. Go for the Dynamax here with Excadrill. Let's just play out the animation. Yeah, looking at my collection while I'm waiting for this to play out. And then I'm going to go for the Max Steel Spike onto the Clefairy because I predicted the Follow Me. So Steel Spike, we get a +1 on the defense for anything down the road. And then we follow that with Togekiss doing an Air Slash to finish off that Clefairy. That way we get rid of that Friend Guard. He goes for another Calm Mind boost, but I don't have to worry too much about it because right now it's at +1 and I'm trying to go for physical offense here. Yeah, so since I thought that I needed to outspeed the Gengar, I switched to Tyranitar to get that Sand up so I can get Sand Rush going. And then he goes for the G-Max on his Alchemy. Yep, I go for the Max Quake on the Gengar, but the Gengar is Focus Sashed. But yeah, thankfully we get to finish him off eventually. Yep, and of course he's doing the Sludge Wave, which kind of took me by surprise. But then once I saw that, I knew, boom, Weakness Policy. And then, but what he wasn't counting on was that my Excadrill also had Weakness Policy, which you can see right here. I activate it, and then of course I was anticipating that he was going to attack my Excadrill, so I Max Guarded, and then of course he did, Shadow Ball, and then we go for the Crunch here to finish off the Gengar so that we don't get outsped anymore. And then here comes the Arcanine. But yeah, of course I'm anticipating that he's going to go for the Flare Blitz, but then I'll outspeed my Excadrill, so I just figured that I would just swap them both out here. Yep, there's the Togekiss to soak the damage, and then I have the Incineroar to do a -1 on for the Intimidate on the Arcanine. Arcanine goes for the Flare Blitz, attacks Togekiss, and then here we have the G-Max Finale on Alchemy. I was kind of expecting him to do that, so I just thought I'd sacrifice the Incineroar to get the Intimidate attack drop on it. So then I send out Tyranitar so that I can start doing some chip damage onto everything. Yep, and then of course I sacrifice the Togekiss. He goes for the Flare Blitz to take out the Togekiss. And then I go for a Rock Slide while they go for a Dazzling Gleam. But of course my Tyranitar is Assault Vest, so it soaked it like a champ. Then we're also able to take out that Arcanine with Rock Slide, since I have no attack drop with no Intimidate. And then we follow that with an Iron Head onto the Alchemy for the win. So yep, that's the first game, and then here we have a nice clean win. And then now for our next opponent for today. Can't pronounce it because I don't know that language. Yep, we have a Sableye and a Charizard. Yeah, obviously this is not about to go well for me because I made a comment earlier that either this is going to go really smoothly or it's going to blow up in my face. But yeah, so when I should have went for a Thunder Wave on the Grimmsnarl onto the Charizard, I instead opted to switch to Tyranitar and then go for the Dynamax on my Excadrill. So I thought I was going to soak this, but instead he goes for the Dynamax or the G-Max on his Charizard. But here's where it caught me by surprise. He has Sableye use Sunny Day when I was predicting a Fake Out onto the Grimmsnarl. So this is where it blows up in my face. There's the G-Max Wildfire to take out my Dynamax Excadrill in one turn. And there we go. Yeah, I'm just kind of like looking at it like, oh, okay, didn't do that right. But of course I wanted to forfeit, but I just decided to just push through and try to salvage this match. Goes for the Max Overgrowth onto the Tyranitar, but my Assault Vest soaks a lot of damage, so I can live for one more turn. Then that allows Tyranitar to go for the Rock Slide. And then there's a Soul Power to finish it off. was kind of glad that happened, but his Wildfire was able to take out my Tyranitar. But now we just play out those animations. And then here we go. We have Darmanitan. He goes for the ally switch. I was not predicting that at all when I should have, because that's one of his key moves next to Will-O-Wisp and Quash. Yep, and then of course he was able to keep his Darmanitan alive while finishing off with the Icicle Spear. Goes for another ally switch, and then this is the point where I realized that there's no turning back, so I just let the loss happen. But yeah, either way, can't win them all. This is something to learn from. Next time I see a Charizard and a Sableye, just go straight for the Thunder Wave and then have Excadrill just Dynamax and neutralize it. Okay, next up. Yep, next up we have Togekiss as well as Torkoal. I'm leading with Grimmsnarl and Dragapult. Yep, my Grimmsnarl goes for Thunder Wave, and then of course I'm running a Choice Specs Hex Dragapult. It goes for the Nasty Plot, which actually works in my favor because it allows me to get the outspeed and take it down in 2 hits with 2 hexes. I switch over to Tyranitar to neutralize the Drought, and then finish out the Togekiss in 2 hexes. That went well, neutralizes the Eruption, so it does very small damage. And then we do the chip damage, and then here we have the Leafeon. He switches out the Torkoal and switches into Cherrim, if that's his name. And of course, this is my chance to go on the offense. I chose the Dynamax, the Dragapult, and then I believe I go for the Max Wormwind here to neutralize the Leafeon's attack stat. So yeah, Leafeon evolves, and then it goes for like a Max Steel Spike next to get +1 on the attack. Yep, there it is. Max Wormwind. And then here we have the Leafeon going for the Steel Spike, +1 on defense. Yeah, and again, I'm able to tank that pretty well with the Dragapult because of the attack stat drop. Then we go for the Rock Slide on the Cherrim and the Leafeon, followed by some chip damage. He swaps out to reset the Sun. And then after that, we follow it up with another Steel Spike so they get +2 on defense. But luckily, I live with 1 health. 1 health. So I take advantage of that, go for the Max Wormwind on the Leafeon. Gets another attack stat drop so I can get even tankier. Of course, I was expecting the Cherrim to stay in, but because he swapped out the Torkoal, he does the Fire Punch. So I thought I'd save my Tyranitar and reset the weather by switching in Incineroar so that we get another attack stat drop. And then by doing that, Torkoal goes for the Solar Beam, and because I swapped in Incineroar, that's going to soak up the damage. And then there we go. Dynamax is over for the Leafeon and for my Dragapult with 1 whopping health. He tries to save a Sylveon, so he swaps in the Cherrim with Flower Gift so that they get the special defense and special attack boost. But I negate that because I was anticipating that to happen, so I switched to Tyranitar to neutralize it. He goes for the Protect to save his Torkoal. I go for the Fake Out to neutralize the Cherrim and get some extra chip damage. I believe I go for a Parting Shot next, but we'll never know because he forfeited. Because he realized that I just had him beat. Okay, next up we have Vega. Oh, look at that. I was able to finish my Genesect quest line after this in Pokemon Go, so that's a extra bonus win. Alright, so we have Tyranitar and Braviary. I go for the Dynamax on my Excadrill, and then he's going to go for the Dynamax on his Tyranitar, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there's the animation, and then if I remember, again, it was Tyranitar. But yeah, what caught me off guard was that I thought Braviary was going to go on the offense and that I would leave it wide open, so he goes for the Protect. I go for the Thunder Wave, and then after that I follow up with a Max Steel Spike because I want to get +1 on defense, but I also didn't want to activate the weakness policy on the Tyranitar if he had it. But he goes for the Max Knuckle. I'm able to survive it because he's only at neutral, but his attack goes up. I get my weakness policy activated because he didn't think I had it. So I go for the Steel Spike on the Tyranitar and able to clear it in one shot. And then that's followed with... Let's see, did I Thunder Wave? Yes, I did Thunder Wave, but he goes for the close combat and is able to take out the Excadrill because it has a critical hit. If I didn't get a crit there, then my Excadrill would most likely win or survive that attack. But yep, I'm able to still get some chip damage there by doing a Spirit Break. I should have probably went for the Darkest Lariat because I would have done more damage and not get the Defiant activated. But either way, I'm able to send in my Rotom. So yep, the Rotom goes in, and then I go for the Volt Switch to finish off the Braviary. Swap out, and then send out Dragapult. And then, of course, I do some more chip damage with Darkest Lariat. There we go, trying to fix my mistake from earlier to avoid some Defiant. Yep, and then, of course, I try to save the Grimmsnarl, bring in the Rotom, and then he absorbs the Iron Head, and then I do some major damage on the Rotom. Almost nearly finish it off, but you know, you can only do so much with Specs damage on a tanky Rotom. And of course, he wastes a turn by doing Will-O-Wisp on a specially built Dragapult. And then we just let the chip damage play out. He goes for an Earthquake, and then I'm able to tank this Earthquake because it does the spread damage. I go for the Leaf Storm to finish off the Excadrill, and then I followed up with Dragapult doing a Draco Meteor because I figured that I would be able to finish it off even with a -1 on the stat drop. But yep, that's it for today's games. Thanks again for watching.